Bickley and Marotta Mornings. Arizona Sports. The local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
KD is back in the lineup, but there's a strong chance his mood and vibe have changed. The Kevin and Devin show in Phoenix is no longer 36 unbothered. I'm guessing it's more like 1 unbothered. And if you're desperate to find optimism in another yucky, sucky, murky, mediocre season, here's all I can offer. Maybe Durant's mood will signal a shift. It could mark a team that suddenly rallies around the anger they feel for their own front office, for how they treated Durant and Bradley Beal leading into the trade deadline. They could become a team that rallies around the inside of their locker room and no one else, a team that yearns to win just so they can spite their bosses. It happened before. I saw it up close and personal with Michael Jordan and his vendetta against the 2 Jerrys in Chicago. Now, to be clear, I'm not buying it. I'm not expecting much more than a 500 team over the final 30-plus games because we have 50 games of proof that the roster is flawed, the team is too small, the team is too soft, and the really good teams know exactly how to tear through the Suns, overwhelming them with youth, hustle, and highly physical play. Either way, this is a tenuous time on Planet Orange because if the Suns aren't careful, they're going to miss the postseason entirely, and 1 series victory in 3 years is not the legacy KD wants to leave in the Valley. All right, today's Bickley Blast brought to you by my great friends at Chapman BMW, who make luxury attainable. Find them online at chapmanbmw.com.
Yeah, I feel good. Looking forward to getting out there tomorrow, trying to help the team win and get back to doing something I love. It's terrible when you can't play. I think that was when I was able to get back to practice. I reflected a little bit in the last few days. I think I was more frustrated that I was injured and I couldn't play through the noise and the and I had to sit and just listen to it, you know. So usually your play can overshadow some of that stuff, but that's probably the most frustrating thing, so it's good to get back on the floor.
That's Kevin Durant kind of reflecting on what this has been like since last Thursday when the trade deadline hit, and he was obviously very hot and heavy in trade rumors with the Golden State Warriors and couldn't play through it. He is expected to play tonight. Yeah, but what to expect, kind of the gist of the blast. And, you know, I don't think you're alone in your assessment. We've got 50 games of proof, or 50, whatever it is now. Yeah, 50 games of proof. 52, actually. That's more than enough of a sample size. There's not really much reason to believe that this team is capable of being above 500. But if they do go 500 the rest of the way, 15-15, that would make them 41-41 on the year. Exactly a 500 basketball team, which on its face, not nearly good enough with the investments that have been made in this team.
Yeah.
But do you think 41 wins would be enough to even get him into the play-in?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Everything is hovering towards 500 on the back end of those teams, but I tend to agree with you.
Yeah. I think 43 wins might be the mark you have to hit to get there.
So. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. If you're looking for reasons for hope, teams have done this before. Teams have gotten so angry at their bosses that it lights a fire. That, okay, you know what? It really is just us. Let's go show them. Let's go show them who they're dealing with. Now, I'm not suggesting that the anger, the feelings are that widespread in the locker room, but in some of the language that KD used yesterday, you could tell that there were parts of this that bothered him. And that was using the phrase bought and sold and up for auction. Those are very heavy words.
They are.
When you talk about frustrated, he couldn't play through the noise and the bleep. Correcting a reporter. Let me get this. Let's get this straight. I haven't been through this. So whatever. I hope they find something because it's maddening to be on this teeter-totter to see this team look really good for a half. And then just get their doors blown off in the third quarter, the turnovers, the lack of cohesion at times. It's not been good.
Yeah. So there you heard Kevin Durant talking about the frustration of not being able to play through the noise, but he was also asked, hey, now with the noise being out there and with you being out, is it weird coming back after, going through that?
No, because my teammates, my coaches, they're not the ones that's having these conversations, it's usually the front office and the people that I don't really see as much as my teammates and coaches. So yeah, I can lock in on the task at hand and focus on the team and my coaching staff as much as I can, because that's the most important thing. And like I said, let the business take care of itself. And whoever called me and tell me I need to go, then I got to go. But if I can, like I said, I wanted to stay here and figure this thing out and see this thing through. So if I could get in the way of something like a trade, then why not? So like I said, like I've been saying, it's all a part of the game, and it's something that we got to accept and deal with and move forward. So we got a game tomorrow. I'll try to focus on.
Yeah, and human nature, and it's not just it's not limited to sports. It's all aspects of life. When something like this happens, human nature kicks in, and your tendency is to say, "Well, I'll show you."
Yeah.
But that doesn't always mean, the tendency and the desire to show you is there. That doesn't necessarily mean everything is hunky-dory on the other side of that either.
No, it doesn't. And so it'll be real curious to see if the new additions that the Suns have acquired for Jusuf Nurkic, if they get into the mix and what this all might look like. I think Mike Budenholzer has got to kind of roll out some better rotations, and I would love to see Tyus Jones get back to doing the things he was brought here to do. There's a lot of things that I think he might be able to tweak to make this thing a little better.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's really the personal pride, like you said. The fact that I didn't even realize they're out of the play-in right now at this moment, and so that alone, I mean, that should spur up something. Like, heck no, we're not missing the playoffs. Playoffs?
2/3 of the teams in the entire NBA make the play-in or playoffs. You're the Phoenix Suns have the highest payroll in basketball and superstars. Come on. I mean, they have to take pride just in that, you would think, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would think. But is their personal pride enough to that's what we've been talking about the last 2 days. You got to overcome other issues on this team.
Yeah.
You talked about Mike Budenholzer's rotations. I think it's interesting now to gauge this and kind of monitor it moving forward, because we saw over the weekend the Suns were so shorthanded. It was like all hands on deck. Everybody got to play. A couple of those guys looked pretty good.
Like Bol Bol.
Bol Bol looked good.
Yeah.
Is he going to get minutes now? I mean, Bradley Beal's still out.
No.
He's not going.
I would agree with you. Bradley Beal is still out, and Bol Bol, his line, the last game, 4 blocks, 19 points, 7 rebounds. Why wouldn't you want more of that? I mean, yes, there are obvious defensive deficiencies, but a newsflash.
They had defensive deficiencies with Bol Bol on the bench.
That's it. Newsflash.
At least he can save you on the back end.
And he'll bring you crowd energy.
But we've talked about it.
True.
Even this late in the season, there doesn't seem to be a lot of rhyme or reason. Like Ryan Dunn's playing time over the last month has been up and down and all around.
Well, I think I give credit to Ryan Dunn because I think he is trying to play through an injury that is more serious than what is being let on. He has not been the same player. And Mike Budenholzer's talked about that too. He's trying to tough through it. Is that the most smart thing to do? Maybe, maybe not. But I think he's affected by that injury.
Yeah, it must be.
And I don't think that tendency, that NBA tendency, I'm not right, I'm going to sit this out until I am right.
I mean, his teammates with Bradley Beal, has he not talked to him?
Here's the last thing that's into the mix. There's now a new group of diehard Suns fans who are very, very, very angry at the team over hikes in season ticket prices in the lower bowl. And the frustration is very, very real. I've heard from a lot of them. And they want this to be an issue. I learned this the hard way from golf tee times in peak season in Arizona, where I say, how dare they price me out? How dare they charge that much? Because they can get it. And every business, the number one core tenet, if you sell things, is pricing. So I would caution Suns fans, they're not doing anything that the market can't support.
True.
It's not good for you, but it's life. It's business.
I will say this, and I agree with you. You're exactly right. It's all economics, but there's a timing to it as well.
That is true.
And
that's very true.
They're not.
That's very true.
The golf courses aren't raising their golf prices in July.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
And nobody, if you make a deep playoff run and you go to a finals, nobody's complaining about ticket pricing going up because it makes sense on every front.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's all I'll
okay,
say.
I'll give you. No, you're right. That's a good point.
But I've heard from some of those fans as well. And look, it's the reality of being a sports fan now. The money is too great everywhere.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.